What is good, people? It's QTV here, emphasis on the QT, because I am one, back with another video. Yes, you are welcome. Before I start though, it is me who is going to be saying thank you to everyone who gave me feedback on the last video. I know it's a bit of a controversial thing to ask for feedback, but you know, I'm a man who likes to improve, and to everyone who did, I can only say a massive thank you. And to anyone who did sub, you're an absolute legend. So, let's get into this video first of all. Probably have turned the cookies off already, very professional of me. We're going to be looking at a career mode features deep dive. So we're going to basically be looking at the pitch notes. As a person who's been playing FIFA for over 20 years, yes, I'm a very, very old man. Let's just say I'm quite pessimistic when it comes to what EA claim to have improved. So let's jump right on in. The first thing we're talking about is create a club. So club identity, you can make your name, you can add a nickname. No, you can't add a nickname, you can choose a nickname that they're going to give you, because you know, imagination isn't something EA want us to have. So you know, fair enough, you can choose league you're starting in. So, you know, I think we're all buzzing for the Div 4 or Div 3 to Premier League Road to Glories with my created club. I'm sure that's going to be a very original video that not millions of YouTubers are going to go for. Anyway, the kit, crest and stadium customization. We look at it and we all see immediately what we're going to be moaning about. The EA interns their fingers must be very sore from all the control C and the control V in to copy and paste the customization mode all the way from pro clubs into this. We'll take a look at the video. Hopefully they don't strike me. And you know, my god, it's even worse than I thought. They have literally, to be fair, I'll give it to them. The kits, they do look good. They look decent. But the fact that they have literally just added Pro Clubs mode. What I'm going to do after this, I'm going to go over to a game, a very, very old game called This Is Football. And we're going to jump to that in a second, and I'm going to show you how kit customization looked around 2006-2007, just so you can actually see how lazy EA are with this. So I may have exaggerated how good This Is Football's kit selection was, but This Is Football was an elite game, so if you haven't played it, you really should. First of all, I'm going to say to it, we've all wanted to create a club back, so that's great. We love the fact that we can create our own club. The Quackers crew can become a real thing. I can look like a massive hypocrite. But PES has had the ability to upload kits for years. And I don't want to hear it's a sponsorship problem, because if you even look at a game like NBA 2K, you can literally upload Space Jam squads. The Seattle Supersonics, an old team that got moved eventually, so they went out. I don't want to hear it's a copyright issue, because if it was a copyright issue, there's not a chance to get massive companies like Konami and 2K would be letting you do it. It's just laziness from EA in my opinion. Next, on to the stadium customization. You can pick from any base generic stadiums in the game, fair enough, and make it your own. You can change the colours, the atmospheres. One thing I'm very interested in, because I think it could be very cool, I'd like it. I know it says you can upgrade your stadium at the start of each season. I'd like it if you had to pay to do that. Not money, real money, because no, I'm not that pay to win. I mean, if it came out of your transfer budget, if it became kind of a balancing issue like it is on FM, okay, you want to upgrade your stadium, you need to spend this X amount of money. I'm going to go back to FIFA 06 in a second. I'm going to show you one of those clips, and you'll see, back in those days, there was a massive thing. You had to really work on keeping your budget balanced. Wage budgets were a thing. See, this is what I'm talking about, boys. I can upgrade the staff even if they all look a little bit noncy no matter what. I can upgrade my negotiation so I can negotiate with bigger people. That keeps your club grounded. I can't negotiate with the superstars if my negotiator is just awful. I mean, he looks like a nonce, so he's awful anyway. Scouts. I get better information about players if I upgraded my scouts. To be fair, that's a thing now. This needs to be a thing. Fitness coaching. It'll help you then recover from injuries, and it helps with fatigue. The better your fitness coach is, the less injuries you have to worry about. Even if it's near impossible to get injured in EA's new games anyway. I don't get it. Fatigue, something that annoys us all. To be fair, they have improved massively on it. But still, this would be awesome. Stadium manager. I can't upgrade it because I'm poor. But the more you invest in your stadium, the bigger your capacity is. This is what I talk about when I say it'd be really cool if you had to pay a part of your transfer fee, which I already do even if it's in points for some reason, to upgrade them. Not only that, at the start of the season, you have to pick a sponsor. That sponsor gives you different factors. Money. You know, give me 1 second, I'm going to show you. So here we are. This is what I mean. I can choose how much money I make each game off the sponsor. I get a loyalty bonus if I decide to stay with them afterwards. And not just that, they give you objectives that give you more money. It's really cool. And why is this a thing in FIFA 2006 but not a thing in real FIFA now? Imagine if you had to you got pressured from sponsors to perform. If you were really performing well, your sponsor is going to give you more funding per match. So at the end of the season, you'll have a bigger transfer budget. It means your club can grow as your sponsorship grows. It's all natural, all flows together. EA, you need more of this. Now back to real-time quackers. Upgrading your staff cost part of your transfer budget. Upgrading your stadium cost part of your transfer budget. And I know it's not necessarily beginner friendly, but I just think it's really cool. It adds another dynamic to it. I will say, well done for finally having something like stadium customization in it. I'm slightly worried it's only going to be for generic stadiums, but well, I mean, it's obviously going to be for generic stadiums. But it would be cool if you could imagine you became an Arsenal legend, you were at Arsenal 10 years, and they gave you the chance to build a new stadium outside the Emirates, like 100,000 capacity stadium. It would just be really cool. And again, I'm going to go back to an old game called LMA Manager 2004 and 2005, to show you how their stadium customization went, because I just think it was really cool. And you think that's 16 years ago? First of all, credit to WorktheSpace for this clip, because every time I tried to download LMA it gave me a virus. But look at this, you can edit the tiers, you can edit the level of detail, and it costs money, it takes time. It just adds another factor. And it just looks amazing. This was 2003, boys and girls. Come on. We'll look at the video quickly. We'll take a quick peek, take a quick gander, see what it's about. And I'm already slightly worried about the fact that it's not about changing stands, it's about changing stand colour. Because when I do go back to LMA Manager, you're going to see, like, changing, you're not making your own stadium. I want to be able to make a mark on my club. I don't just want to pick a generic stadium and say, these colour seats are purple now. That's me. That's my stadium. Purple is my colour. No, I want to be able to kind of shape something. I want to be able to mould the perfect stadium. Squad builder. A brand new team needs players. I mean, this I'm going to give to him is pretty cool. Not necessarily based on kind of the imagination that goes into it, but just based on, I think, the level of challenge you can kind of make just based on this. You can give yourself different overall ratings. You can change your squad age, the set and transfer budget, the board expectations. I think it's my second favourite part, because don't worry, I have read through this. I really hope you can change the names of players. I think you can, but it does worry me that it says regenerate players at the bottom there. Because I think one of the real things people are going to want to do, they're going to do, like, imagine, even just for YouTube, we could do like a subscriber club. You can kind of build a squad based on subscribers so they can watch themselves perform. I really hope it's not just a situation where you have to take a blank number of names and build a club for it. Especially because you know they're going to be auto-generated faces, which is kind of annoying as is. I think it could be. I think it's a very glaring miss if they don't give you the ability to design the players you want, design their positions, rename them, give them different dates. I mean, the squad age thing kind of tells you how old they're going to be already. Again, I think this is a very cool feature. I think setting the overall rating is excellent. You can kind of balance the team out. The squad age, it's cool. Transfer budgets, can't wait for the... Look at my League 2 career mode where I start with 10 million. I know, so challenging. Anyway, board priorities. Last but not least, you'll be able to change your board's priorities. Again, it's very, very cool. But it's EA, so I do worry about the level of detail that's going to go into it. Note that domestic and regional priorities will be influenced by your team star ratings. Some of you won't have seen it, but I did a career mode where I played with just goalkeepers. So I had a full team of 80 to 90 rate goalkeepers, and they played as my outfielders. So therefore my star rating was 5 stars, even though every single outfielder in the team was 40 or below. I had a 5-star rated squad. It's just a bit dumb. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, pray, hope to God, whoever is up there, that they've rejigged the overall rating system slightly so that if I randomly have an incredible defence but a very substandard attack, there's going to be people who are bad at squad building, that I'm not suddenly being asked to win the Premier League when I have a team of 85 rated defenders and then 60 rated attackers named Sam Greenwood, because Sam Greenwood's a fucking scat. If you don't understand why, then it's an old video. Now the part that you've been waiting for. Player career. This is where the pessimist in me really comes out. Coming on as a sub. The first feature, the newest addition, the golden feature of player career mode, coming on as a sub. Also, their grammar in this is just terrible. To me, it just epitomises how lazy EA are. This should have been a feature from the start, to be honest. Obviously, it's because of the situations and the potential challenges you could face coming as a sub, and the fact that it was very annoying on player career mode this year that you would start matches with half fitness. So hopefully, fingers crossed, if you're not very fit, you'll start on the bench. But still, it should really have been a thing from the start, shouldn't it? You know what though, fair enough. It's a thing now, it's going to be cool. Oyarzabal, I don't know what he did to get a red card, but I do see that Firmino had to go off, so I hope he didn't break his leg. Here we go, here's the big one. Look at him, look at Big Prince. Look at him, oh, Klopp's getting him excited. Oh. See, this is cool. Match objectives, we're going to go into it later. That is cool. But again, we have more worries. Manager rating. Depending on performance, depending on reaching a manager's objectives, your manager rating will go up or go down. This was a thing like 10 years ago. They're advertising this. I can't remember what FIFA was, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get a screenshot. If one of you do remember, please tell me. This was a thing. Not only this, when Be a Pro first came out, you started in the reserve team and had to work your way up. Why isn't that a thing anymore? That's so cool. Even if you're starting in the youth team, then you work to your under 23s, then you work up to its first team. Like, imagine starting as an under 18, playing for a year and then getting your first debut in a cup. Do you know how satisfying and gratifying that would be? I really should make a video on what I want to see in FIFA because, it's quite cool. This is what worries me. So, as a man who's currently replaying the Champions League 2006 game for a YouTube series, one of the objectives given was win 10 corners. Because you got objectives in a game. You'll get it when I start the video, when I start uploading the series. But you say you start a game 60 minutes in, you're 1-0 down. You have to score twice and get 10 corners. Imagine if your objective, because it says, I can't remember where, it says your objectives will kind of be dependent, it will say in the match objective screen I believe, dependent on your position. So if you're a striker, your objective is to score goals. If you're a cam, it's to set up goals. Imagine if you're a left winger, yeah? You score a hat-trick, but your objectives get 2 successful crosses. Obviously, hopefully EA have some common sense and kind of make it so that it's based on your match rating as the main focus of manager rating, and then the others are kind of sub-objectives to improve. But could you imagine if you scored a hat-trick and then lost manager rating for not crossing twice accurately? I mean, as much as it'd be hilarious, you just wouldn't put it past EA, would you? The manager rating though, even if it is something that was on an old FIFA, fair enough, it's good to see you back. It should have been there from the beginning again. Match objectives. Moved from the journey mode back to FIFA, and yes, thank you Jesus, it's awesome. It's not my favourite part, but it's very cool. Although score at least 2 goals from outside the box is just hilarious. I hope that this is like a monthly objective rather than a one for just a match, because it's exactly the point I'm making. Imagine if you get that 9 rating. Imagine if you get the team possession. Well, even then, that's near bloody impossible. Do you know how hard it is to keep possession on bloody be a pro? Imagine if you get the rating. Imagine if you scored a hat-trick, but none of them were outside the box, and your team had 59% possession. I want to know if I'm going to lose manager rating for that, because that would be stupid. And hopefully EA have some common sense, and that's not the situation we get put into, but again, it's EA, so you never know. This is the part I'm looking for. The things manager objectives are generated on. Obviously, we've already spoken about the fact that your playing position affects it. Again, this is cool. The quality of your team compared to your position, very, very important. If I am playing as Norwich and I score twice against Man United, I should get a massive bump up in manager rating. I should be starting the next game. I don't care. If I score twice against Mansfield in the Carabao Cup, yeah, start me from the bench. Yeah, I scored twice, it's awesome. No offence to Mansfield fans though, but you're Mansfield and you're wank. This is stupid. Again, it starts off well saying about, although genuinely it tells you enough about how much football gets watched in Vancouver that they're trying to say 3-4-3 can only be an attacking formation. Yeah, I get why it's suggesting that you shouldn't have to score as much against 5-4-1s as 3-4-3s, even if 3-4-3 again can be a very defensive formation. I played with one defender in one of my career modes this year and did a pretty decent job, so it's not impossible. If you are a lone forward in a squad without a strike partner, you won't receive any objectives to make assists. Did they not watch Harry Kane? Did they not watch modern football? Half the job of the striker, as much of it is to score goals, you've also got to create space. You've got to pull defenders in. You've got to pull them around. You've got to pull them in and out. And yes, I'm aware it's starting to sound a bit dodgy now, but it's the truth. Your job of a striker, as much as it is to score goals, the main objective will always be to score goals, but you've still got to get assists. A false 9 exists. Imagine if you're Roberto Firmino, how offended you'd be right now. That boy don't score. He couldn't score in a brothel, but you expect him to not. I'm being too pessimistic. It's a very cool addition. I think player career mode is going to be very, very good. This is something that excites me. Player growth's been overhauled completely, so it's less about objectives. I'm not going to say this for sure, but there's not a complete cap on stats, which is very important, because it's something that's an issue on NBA 2K. It's something that's been an issue on FIFA. I don't want to say it's an issue on pro clubs, because having a 5'4" midget with 99 jumping and 99 strength would probably be very depressing. But it's very, very cool that you earn XP, and I'm hoping that you kind of... I'm hoping it's a situation where you can kind of decide where to put that experience. It just says earn XP will level up your pro and unlock skill points with each level achieved. I don't know if that's going to be like pro... I hope it's not a skill tree. I really hope it's not a skill tree again. But you never know. I really think one of the biggest things, you need to be able to make yourself a global superstar. You need to be able to make yourself the greatest player of all time. It doesn't matter if it's unrealistic. You're a game. Play like one. Stop trying to be this perfect realism simulator of football. Because PES try that, and there's a reason PES gameplay can be so slow sometimes. The training stuff, I honestly hate the training system, so I'm just going to move on from there straight away. This is just kind of another example of how XP's... Look at the manager, look how happy Jurgen is. Go on, Jurgen. But again, look, let's go back. I don't give a shit about the successful dribbles, successful crosses. I'm going to assume he's a winger. But it worries me. I really hope the match rating is kind of the main objective, and then these two are kind of sub-objectives, because otherwise it could get a bit tasty. Well, that's exactly what I didn't want to see. So, as I said, as I was very worried about, there's going to be a skill tree. Which is cool. Especially if you can max out. If you can max out, perfect. But I do slightly worry it's going to be like pro clubs where you only get a certain amount of skill points. Especially as I said, there are multiple paths to success and plenty of room to experiment on your path to build your ultimate player. I really, really, really fingers crossed hope that you get the choice of I want to max this player out. I want to make him a physical beast. I want Lionel Messi in Cristiano Ronaldo's body. That's what sort of player I want to make. I don't care if it's boring. If I want a centre-back who can score from 4 yards, who can dribble past everyone. It's a game it's meant to be fun. Perks. This just feels like they're rejigging the traits page, but you know, we'll move on. Did he just score a long shot? That's actually quite impressive. Anyway. This is just completely robbing from 2K. Your ability to kind of boost your teammates' abilities, things making more likely. Watch, I guarantee within the next few years, there's like, what will it be? Because it'll be like League 2 standard distance shooter, League 1 standard distance shooter, Championship standard distance shooter, Premiership standard distance shooter, and it'll boost your ratings based on which one you unlock. Perks, they're cool. I hope they're not just kind of a rejig of traits. I hope they actually do all of the things they say about. Stuff like quick reply, shooting attributes boost for a short time after conceding a goal. That's fucking sick. That's unreal cool. Tireless Runner grants a second win and solid player traits. Again, that kind of, to me, it suggests that they're more going to be rejig traits, but you never know. Just robbing lockdown straight from EA. Goalkeeper ones, I ain't using goalkeeper, I don't care. No, don't. Again, it's very... Stuff like this is just so cool, and I really hope there's a big deal made about it and they really put the effort in. Goalkeeper attributes boost in the final 50 minutes and extra time of a match. We all know it doesn't matter too much because reactions is the only stat that matters. But it's cool. I was really hoping that I was going to say they had the ability to score set pieces, but you know. This perk's subject to change before launch, so they'll probably ruin them, but you never know. This scene just cracked me up, so I'm just going to sit here in silence, because the idea of them just jumping up and down and like skipping around happily. I mean, Alisson's Trent's skipping, Virgil's delighted, and they won the Community Shield. It's just brilliant to me. Again, I think it's really cool. It adds another detail. It's only a small detail, but you know, it's a cool one. Fair enough, EA. Well done. Transfer updates. Firstly, where do we begin? We all know, we'll watch the video, but we all know there's basically just going to be more scenes. We know it's not going to be anything absolutely outstanding. And at the end of the day, I still love the idea that the player's always going to go to these agent negotiations. It's like, imagine I'm Scunthorpe, just got promoted to the Championship, bid 5 million for Ibrahimovic, and do you think Mino Raiola's going to be like, fuck's sake, Zlatan, Newport have just bid 2 million in their training ground for you, get your dinner jacket, we need to go for a curry and tell these boys to fuck off for offering £5 a week and some fruit pastels. It's a cool scene, but you're hyping it up like it's this I mean, look at it, it's like it's the most epic thing in the world. And it's just basically a rejig of before. This is the one for me. This is where I get excited, I'll be honest. Expanded stories. When you reach a certain amount of games played, when your youth player's a standout debut season, when he's goal projection, this is the one to break a competition's goal record. Please, EA, tell me that you're going to have historical stats. Please. Please tell me that I'm going to be able to see Alan Shearer's record, and if I get close to breaking it. Please say, if I'm Arsenal, Thierry Henry's record's going to be there, and I can try and get Balogun or Saka or Martinelli to try and break it. Please. Because it's just, it adds another layer. It adds challenges as well. Like, imagine simulating until I break Shearer's record, simulating until I break Messi's record for Barcelona. I know that's probably impossible because you can only play 15 seasons and Messi's just inhuman, but you know, it's cool. This I really like. I really do like. Most goal involvements is completely pointless because I think most people can do 10 plus 3. I'd love it if they had like XG per game, pass accuracy, passes per game, but you know, it's slow going. You got to accept things. It is a pre-match intro again, which is very, very cool. All of the team warm-ups again, they're cool, but you'll forget about them after the first week. Most of you will probably skip them. Alex Scott's in the game and she's fit and she's also very smart and she's also an Arsenal legend, so that's awesome for me. This looks hilarious, but you know, again, it is very cool. The fact you can genuinely make a club legend and kind of you'll be able to see him actually become one. It's the idea you can imagine I sign an 18-year-old for Crystal Palace. He plays there 10 years and then you finally see that tifo. It's so gratifying. The UEFA Conference League's in the game. That's something that as an Arsenal fan I don't really need to worry about. And not for a good reason. It says they're passionate about authenticity. So we'll see, because at the moment I think the FIFA mod maker is probably better at making mods than you. But you know, we move on. Boys and girls though, this has gone on about 3 times longer than I thought it would. I didn't think I'd be ranting as much as I did. Again, one thing I'm going to say. I am very pessimistic. At the end of the day though, the most important thing is going to be gameplay. Are teams going to have actual identities for once? Or if you're playing Burnley on normal difficulty, are they still going to refuse to cross the ball in the box? I want to be able to play Big Sam's teams, I know he's not managing that out, and they're playing defensive football. I want to play Pep Guardiola's teams, and only Pep Guardiola's teams playing like Pep Guardiola's teams. I don't want to play 38 games in the Premier Pep Guardiola's teams. It's a massive step forward for EA. They've put effort in. No. They've copy and pasted the right things in from old games. They've somehow put enough effort in efficiently to make the game somewhat excitable. Boys and girls, let me know down below what you are most looking forward to in FIFA 22. I hope you have a wonderful day. I am sorry that you've had to deal with my monotone voice for this long. Have a good one. Peace.